Hey everyone, it's David Michael. As you can tell, I've tried to make a few changes to the background just to make things a little bit more visually interesting. Not that that has any importance whatsoever, but I did look back at some of my first videos in my old house where I had some records in the background and it looked a little bit better, I thought. A little more interesting. So if you don't want to look at this, you can always look at that. So there you go. How's that for production values? Anyways, how's everyone doing? Cheers. Let's get that out of the way. It's a late Saturday night tonight, as I do this. And if you want to skip to the records, just kind of fast forward until you see me do this. If you don't mind my preamble, I've had a really busy week. I saw Queen, and if you don't believe the current version of Queen touring is Queen, then I'll save you the comments. I saw Brian May and Roger Taylor with some kid singing. But it was an amazing show. I loved it. I was right side stage, right next to Brian May. And it was the anniversary of News of the World. And they did some really kind of off the beaten track songs, which if you're a fan, which was really, really awesome to hear. And if you were just there to hear 5 of their biggest hits, then you were probably like, get down, make love. But apart from that, that was an amazing show. A lot of really good, a lot of good production values that you won't see here. And apart from that, I'm not sure if I mentioned this because I'm old and forgetful, but it's been borderline heat wave here where I live. If you're in my city, then you'll know what I'm talking about. It's been upwards of around plus 30 Celsius all week. Well, for most of the week anyways. And today was blistering hot, and how that plays into a vinyl video, I don't know. Just to let you know what's going on. But more so than the vinyl I'm going to show you, it was my 5th wedding anniversary this week. 5th! Someone stuck it out with me for 5 years, being married anyways. We've been together longer. So, not bad for a first marriage. As you can tell, I'm very responsible with my money. Yeah, so that was a nice milestone. I've referenced my wife quite a few times. She's the one that kind of gives me her blessing and kind of allows this all to happen and allows me to dominate our basement of our new house. And so I don't think she watches my videos, but if you do, in fact, we just got back from, we both work obviously, and I work nights as some of you know, so we didn't have time to do anything during the week, but we had, tonight we had a lovely hour-and-a-half walk through downtown in my city. Wow. If you're in my city, you'll know what I'm talking about, the River Valley. If you're not from my city, then you'll have no idea what I'm talking about, but there you go. So yeah, Queen, my wedding anniversary, and I've had some pretty cool finds this week. What you're listening to right now, by the way, if you can hear this, by the way, if you've skipped forward past that whole beginning part, this is where you're going to pick up now. We're listening to Brain Ticket, Psychonaut. I don't know what you want to call this, krautrock, progressive rock, space rock, who knows. I just love this album, so that's what you're listening to if you're wondering what you're hearing in the background. So let's get right to this. I got everyone upstairs, so I'm trying to be a little bit more quiet. So whether that means less entertaining, that's all relative, isn't it? Anyways, I saw Queen. That was pretty cool. I've only had a couple newer albums come in the mail. I'll show you this one. I finally found a really nice copy of King Crimson's Red. Let's see if this will be my, as I do every video, this might be my screen cap. I've never actually had a really good condition copy of Red. And someone had this on sale locally in my city for $15. So it was a no-brainer. This is obviously a reissue, but I have to admit, if any of you have the recent reissues, the 200-gram reissues, although 200 grams is a bit excessive. I mean, it's getting to the point now where the weight of the vinyl will crush your turntable. So I think that's a bit excessive. But anyways, really nice sounding pressing of King Crimson's Red on this one. So that was a no-brainer, 15 bucks. The only other new album I have to show you, I'm kind of hesitant to show you because there's a part 2 to it coming in the mail. For whatever reason, one came and one didn't. But some people have shown this on their videos, but this is the new 45th anniversary copy of David Bowie's Ziggy Stardust. This is the gold vinyl. There's really not much to show you other than I should have pulled down all my copies of Ziggy Stardust to show you, but that's the gold vinyl, 45th anniversary. And the other one coming is the Hunky Dory, which came out with this, but it has not arrived yet. So those are the only two records I get. And I have, which is odd because I have the 45th anniversary and I have the 40th anniversary edition that came out obviously 5 years ago. And then I have an original Canadian RCA pressing. Then I have the version that came in the box set. And blah, 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 blah. The Bowie reissues keep on going on because people like me, we keep buying them. But anyway, Ziggy Stardust. I do not consider this his best album, by the way. It's name-checked a lot as his best album. I might have to go with Hunky Dory. I think Hunky Dory might be his best album, but that might be here next video. All right, let's get to this. I'm trying to figure out where to... Let's start with this. Okay. Actually, let's start with this. I might have made mention of this in one of my videos previously, but this has kind of been one of my more sought-after jazz albums. And if you don't like jazz, you probably fell asleep or you're clicking the fast-forward button. But I've been after a copy of this album, and like I always say when it goes to jazz, I'm kind of picking up the better-known ones. But I've been looking for a nice condition copy of this one for quite a while, but I got a copy of Charles Mingus, Nice Columbia pressing. But anyways, it's one of those albums that, I think this all kind of stemmed from a documentary I saw on YouTube where it's kind of like 1959, and kind of probably the four most influential albums in jazz came out that one year. Ornette Coleman's The Shape of Jazz to Come, Miles Davis' Kind of Blue, Dave Brubeck came out, and this one. So I've been on a hunt for a nice condition copy of this one. It didn't cost me an arm and a leg, and I found one. So Charles Mingus. So I've completed that kind of 4-album cycle of albums that came out that year that most hipsters seem to collect. I'm not a hipster, but if you dip your toe in the water, those 4 albums, they're kind of no-brainers. Okay, I got a stack to show you in a minute or two because I had a really good day getting vinyl. Cheap vinyl at that too. These are thrift store finds from this week. Every video I say I'm not going to go to the thrift stores, and then I pass by one, pull the car over, and invariably they have something. But a couple of really non-spectacular albums, but this is a nice upgrade of Blondie's Parallel Lines. Really super nice, clean copy of Parallel Lines, to be honest with you. Madness. Oh, I grabbed the wrong album. Madness. I'm not sure what this was released under in the UK. I don't think it came out in this version. This is the version with Our House, and this is how it came out in Canada. But I think I could be wrong here. But I think the album here you see here that came out for North America, I think this was kind of a comped album of singles. Because House of Fun's on here. Night Boat to Cairo. So someone might know this in the comments section, but I'm sure this album came out under something else in the UK. Maybe not. But Madness, found a nice copy of that for, what was it? $1. Nice condition copy. I think I showed one of his albums last video, and I'm guessing this thrift store got a few of his albums in and they're putting stuff out slowly, but David Grissom, or was it Grissom? Grissman. David Grissman. Like last video, I'll tell you, I kind of know about him doing albums with Jerry Garcia from the Grateful Dead, but I found another one of his albums for $1. This is called the David Grissman Rounder album. And there's a nice little picture of David there. This is an original US Rounder Records pressing. As I kind of slowly just kind of investigate some different music. I think Linda, you might know Ellie, on YouTube. If you don't know her, look her up. she was commenting on his album I showed last time, and I know she's a big Grateful Dead fan, and she seems to be quite fond of him. So it was enough for me to spend $1, pick it up. By the way, did I mention how hot it is? I think it's like almost midnight here right now, and I think it's still 25 above. That's just to explain why I go to the cup. Unlike last week or last video, it's non-alcoholic, because I was on the verge there of being a little bit of a lush there, wasn't I, with the 4 drinks of Iron Maiden beer, right? This one's kind of a curious pickup. I don't know the guy. I picked it up by the cover. Quickly did a description look-up on Discogs, and it just seemed really weird. Amin Batia, the Interstellar Suite. Someone out there is going to know this album. This was $1. And as it turns out, he does a lot of cinematic music, TV show music. I think someone told me he did the music for one of the Star Trek TV series. But this came out on a sub-label of EMI called, it's a cinema label, so I guess they put out soundtracks or cinematic music. But this is an electronic, classical, ambient album. It's the best I can describe it. I mean, the album just kind of looks like that's what kind of an album it is. Total blind buy for $1, and I have to say it's a really good, like I said, like I just said, electronic, classical, ambient type album. I was very surprised by that album. So if I could say his name right without butchering it, Amin Batia, the Interstellar Suite. I picked up for $1. This album is very curious. It's a Canadian band called Rain, and this is called the Rain album. It's an original pressing on Axe Records. If you look at, you have to excuse the price sticker. It kind of looks vaguely 70s rock or something. That's what made me pick it up. But it turns out it's a female-fronted, and it's worth a few dollars in this condition anyways. So it's, it was kind of the deciding factor. If I didn't like it, I can always pass it along. A lot of people shove it under the Northern Soul category, but it's recorded in the 70s, so I guess Northern Soul was kind of continued on into the 70s, but it's just rock, and it's kind of, rock, and it has elements of Northern Soul in it, and R&B. It was a nice little surprise of an album, so I'm not sure if anyone knows this album out there, but it's Rain, the Rain album. I think might have been the only album they did. I could be wrong on that one. But yeah, that was a nice little pickup. If you don't know that one, maybe have a listen online. All right. So, okay. So here goes to these pretty cool finds I got today. There's a guy locally who has a vinyl sale. It's not really a vinyl sale. It's vinyl, arts and crafts, all that kind of stuff. Every couple years, his last one he had was a couple years ago. He has a vinyl sale. He sells arts and crafts. I want to say it's a kind of a glorified garage sale of sorts, except for it's up a 2-story walk-up a building, and there's this big space. And he said he had about 1,500 albums for sale today. I would say that was that was right. A couple years ago, me and my wife went there, and my wife had a great conversation with him. Lots of those little knick-knacky arts and craft things that my wife likes. And today she was kind of eager to go with me while I looked for vinyl. She could talk to this guy and see the art. And yeah, lo and behold, we went, and wasn't in a big hurry like last year. The last time I went to the sale, there was a bit of a lineup to get into this guy's place. But, then because the people ahead of you in line are kind of the guys who are just picking things up to flip, and I do some of that too, but that's maybe 20% of what I pick up gets kind of flipped. But I wasn't interested in doing the lineup today, just because, like I said, I just didn't want to get frustrated by the people there to bulk up on albums to flip that I'll see next week on online ads for 5 times the price. But that's a total aside there, isn't it? So I kind of casually just kind of went down, and I'm not sure because it was so hot out today, but there's just a couple of people I knew from the vinyl community locally, and my wife had a great old talk with him, and he had some incredible vinyl. And I'll preface it by saying most of these were $3. I love holding my fingers up, don't I, when I describe albums. Most of them were $3. There was a couple that were a few more bucks than that, but not much more than that. So let's get right to this. So that was kind of the story behind this sale I went today. Every couple of years, this guy opens up this space and he seems to get a new crop of records, but that's not his business he's in. He's an artist, but he seems to come across these big treasure trove of records. First one I picked up today, I've had this come in and out of my collection a couple of times, but someone on YouTube kind of posted this as one of the, I had never heard this album. I've had it, you know, traded it, but someone on YouTube who I watched was showing it as kind of one of the better psych albums to pick up that you can get kind of relatively inexpensive. And I found a super, really nice, clean copy of Fat Mattress. Now, if you don't know Fat Mattress is Noel Redding from the Jimi Hendrix Group, and this is kind of what he went on to do after Jimmy died, I guess. But I got a copy of Fat Mattress for $3. Really nice condition copy. This one kind of blew my mind. This is an original 1968 UK pressing of the first Steve Miller Band, Children of the Future. And there's the back. You kind of see the UK address on it and whatnot. If you don't know this album, this is not Steve Miller, the Joker. It's that Steve Miller, but it's not that music. It's not Abracadabra, and it's not, like I said, it's not the Joker. This is a total blues rock psychedelic freak album. Trust me, if you've not heard this album, have a listen. Like I said, you'll be pleasantly surprised by old Steve Miller here on his first record. It's nothing. If you like, maybe some of you are aware of this album, but if you're not, it's a total freak out album. And what an amazing find for $3 in super nice condition. So that was one of those pickups today. An album I picked up on recommendation of someone on YouTube. I don't know who it is, but if you know who I'm talking about, if you're that person, then thank you for making this recommendation. It's the first Joe Walsh solo album after he left the James Gang. As you can see, it was $3. Barnstorming, or Barnstorm. I sound like such a pro, aren't I? Barnstorm, yeah. That was a $3 pickup today, but like I said, it was totally recommended by someone on YouTube, and it's I was pleasantly surprised today what a good album this was. So Barnstorm, and this was I can't profess to say it's my favorite pickup of the day, but it's one of. I gotta reach over here. I have an original pressing of this album, Blue Cheer, first album. Vincebus Eruptum. This is my playing copy that I currently have. It's an original Philips Records pressing, but I'm not sure if I've wood glued it. I've cleaned it repetitively, and it plays pretty nicely. Lots of crackles, but you know that kind of shit doesn't bother me. But I don't know if the camera can pick up all the scratch. Probably not all the scratches. There you go. See that? So it's kind of a rough condition copy, but it plays. And as we call them, placeholder copies, it did me fine. So I guess you know what I'm going to show you now. I found a super clean copy of this album today at this guy's sale. Once again, I believe it's an original Philips Records pressing. But unlike that one, this one is clean. And it plays super clean too. So, not that I'm playing favorites, because they're all my favorites, aren't they? That was one of the better pickups today from this guy's sale. Was a super nice condition copy. So this one I'll probably pass along to a friend. You can't really resell it in that condition, but it plays. So if you're a friend of mine out there locally, you can come over and pick this up. Anyways, that was a nice find today. X, another $3 purchase. Ain't Love Grand. I'm pitifully low on X albums. I have all the X CDs, but vinyl, I have Los Angeles. Ooh, and that might be it. I love X, but I just haven't bothered to pick up a lot of their vinyl because you don't really see it around here very often. But this has a killer first track, Burning House of Love. So anyways, that was a nice $3 pickup today. It's an original Elektra Records pressing. Not that that shit's important. Picking up XTC vinyl continues. I've picked up quite a few lately after, like I said, like X, I've had XTC albums on CD forever. Then I think it was Jeff Party who made that Skylarking video, and it kind of, I think I've said this in another video, kind of got the wheels turning. But I love XTC, and why don't I have more of their vinyl? Well, I got an original Canadian Virgin Records pressing of White Music today. Not the rarest of albums, but a super nice condition, clean copy today. And we're getting down to the last two. This was such a cool find today. In fact, I posted this on Facebook today and someone dissed this album. Doug at Fast City Vinyl, we were talking back and forth, and you'll know what I'm talking about. Someone kind of tried to rip apart this album. To each their own. Fanny. Fanny, this is an original, really nice condition copy of Fanny. It's an original first pressing reprise. Really nice condition. Fanny were the first, they were the first all-female rock band who played their own instruments to sign a major contract. It's something like that anyways. But this is, if you don't know Fanny, I'm trying to think, oh, this is a US pressing too. I didn't even notice that. Original reprise US pressing. Nice gatefold as the record falls out. Oops. One for the blooper reel. Anyways, some people might know Fanny. That was a nice $3 pickup. I didn't realize this unoriginal reprise records pressing is more than worth a few bucks. Anyways, some of you might know Fanny, some of you might not. If you don't know them, you can investigate. If you do, there you go. A super nice original pressing of Fanny. And like I said, I didn't realize until now that it's a US pressing. 1970. There you go. And as Fanny says, for maximum fidelity, they should be listened to at high volume. So for that guy on Facebook who was dissing this album, who said it was soft rock, there you go. Fanny. That was totally unnecessary. I hope this guy doesn't watch my videos, by the way. Last find I got for you here. Oh yeah, okay, let's keep this under 2 hours, okay? The Blues Project live at Town Hall. This is an original Verve Forecast pressing. I think this one was more than $3. It wasn't much more than $3. I think after I brought my stack up, he worked the deal down. It wasn't much more than $3. I keep on finding Blues Project albums at thrift stores and garage sales and whatnot, and I buy them every time, and every time I buy them, I love them. I'm sure it's not the rarest thing on earth because I keep on finding them, but definitely this is an original Canadian pressing on, like I said, Verve, but it's distributed in Canada by Trans World. So when you see that, that's going to tell you that's an original Canadian pressing anyways. If you don't know Blues Project, I highly recommend you kind of give them a listen. A little bit of blues, a little bit of rock, a little bit of psych elements thrown in, some flutes. It's everything. It's all things to all people. Anyways, that was the last find I had today from that glorified garage sale that you had to walk up 2 flights to get to. So it really wasn't a garage, was it? Anyways, we're going to end this here. I would like to say this was quick and dirty, but it wasn't. It could have been long and arduous, or it could have been entertaining. I don't know. I have this vision of my wife and son upstairs hearing me talk and laughing their asses off. Anyways, going to end this here. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching, subscribing. Every time I always say this, I'm such a hypocrite. I always say I'm not going to go thrift store shopping, and I keep on wanting to have a subscription contest. And every time I want to have one, I pass a milestone. So right now I'm coming up on, I think, 850. So that's kind of an odd number to have a contest. But, you know, maybe I'll have one. I have some time now where I'm not doing record fairs. I'm not traveling. So I'm another kind of, this is kind of another aside. I'm pulling a lot of vinyl right now. I'm going to thin out the collection and maybe sell those and buy maybe some more wanted albums, most wanted albums, as they're called. if you speak intelligible English. Most wanted. So as I'm pulling those, there'll be some gems in there I'll be pulling. So maybe I'll pull those aside and have a contest one of these days. Some people have 2-3 contests every couple months, and I can't get my shit together to have one. Such is life. Anyways, thank you to all my new subscribers. I appreciate it. I love checking out your videos. And I was going to end this right here. So David Michael from the vinyl community from the sweltering Western Canada. Cheers, everyone.